All right, my friends, what's up, trainers? Pokemon Horizons episode number 48. And I wanted to start off the video with saying this. And I think you know, right? If you have been frequenting the channel, even if you don't check out every single review that I have, there's been 48 videos I've done on Pokemon Horizons. So I'm not exactly an expert by any means, but I think I have some pretty good backing considering that I've made 48 videos at a minimum for Pokemon Horizons. And I've done a few more on the side, like why liko I think is the best MC. You know, I think she's better than Ash in many ways. I've posted a lot of different thoughts about the show. But what I'm going to say is, in no way, shape, or form do I ever think that my specific opinion is absolute. Now, my opinion is absolute to me, but I never, think that my opinion is, I'm never trying to push my opinion on you, as the viewer, as a community member, as a friend. I'm never trying to push my opinion. I'm just saying, here's my thoughts, here's my stance that I honestly don't ever change. Like, how I feel is how I feel. And I feel about how I feel about that specific episode. Now, I could change how I feel about the show as it goes on. It could go up, it could go down. Things happen. With that being said, before I hit record for this specific episode, I was thinking of like, well, how do I sugarcoat? How do I say, and I was like, you know what? Just don't do any of that. Just say what you feel. And that's what I typically always do. Episode 48, I don't think was very good. I think it was a little bit of a boring episode. And a portion of that is I don't think Roy is as strong of a character as liko or even as Dot, to be honest. I think he's the weakest part of the show, and I felt that way from the moment he was introduced. I felt that way from the beginning, and I think that he is okay as a complimentary character. And I also think that he has had some moments to shine. It's not like anything else in the show. It's the same thing like in the original trio. You had Ash, Misty, and Brock. And it's okay to say, hey, I don't really like Brock or I don't really like Misty. But in certain moments, because they're complimentary towards Ash or towards Brock, they have really good highlight moments. And that's what I really feel like when it comes to my relationship with Roy as a character, is just overall, I don't think he really benefits the show, and I don't really think he needs to exist. But in certain cases, he's had some complimentary, really good moments. Now, with the show pivoting and focusing mostly on him, I think that, again, it's perfectly okay. But if I were to compare this episode versus episode 47, where it was focused on liko and her becoming closer to her Florigato and terrestrializing and how they depicted that, I think it was, substantially better, like way better of an episode. And tick for tack, I would say last episode was like a 9 out of 10. I really enjoyed it. I would say this episode was like a 6 out of 10. And it could portionally be just the way that the way they decided to do it. So this episode was focused on my brain just went dead. I'm so sorry. This episode was focused on them going to Artisan, and they went to go face the Artisan gym leader, and they have interacted with him before. So this is not the first time that they've met Brassius. At the beginning of the episode, liko's dad is there. He's working on some art stuff. Brassius just finished his magnum opus with the Rayquaza stuff that he has for his art. I think all of that was perfectly fine, perfectly serviceable. Then we went into the Nemona fight, and in the game specifically, I don't like Nemona whatsoever. In the show, I mean, she's fine. She comes and Roy and her, they battle it out, and he has, a dummy moment, which I think is completely okay. It's him learning to be a better trainer, and I think it's a growing, pain, a growing thing for Roy. And he makes a dumb decision to use a flamethrower while it's raining. It's like, did you not feel the rain? Or did you not feel it? You're soaking wet. Totally fine. He uses it. He Fs up. Nemona wins the battle. And then, basically Brassius tells him like, hey, like, you ain't up to it. You ain't up to snuff yet. You got to go practice, bro. You got to find your inner zen before you come and mess with all of this. So they decided to do kind of like what they did last week, right? With, cooking and, or not cooking, baking, when they did the baking stuff. This week they're like, oh, we're gonna do some art, okay? And they're gonna make some art, and by happenstance he's gonna learn on how to get closer to his Pokemon and stuff. So they do, And they do the art stuff, and I think my eyes glazed over. But hey, perfectly fine, perfectly serviceable. They create a really cool little Charizard thing between him and 𝐒𝐿𝐻𝐿. And now they're ready to fight Brassius. Here's where my next portion comes in, is we have, it pans over to Nemona, and she's like, wow, this is what it means to be a gym leader. It's like, bitch, like, you're Nemona the champion. You've already pounded through all the gym leaders. You became a champion. So why these are the moments that in Pokemon sometimes I'm just like, yo, why you being like that? Like, this isn't like foreign to you or anything. Like, this is like, you know, you're the champion. You're Nemona the champion. So she's like, wow, this is what it means to be a gym leader. And I'm like, wow, okay, like that's a moment for me. Then, you know, Roy takes on the 𝐒𝐿𝐻𝐿, and he makes some better decisions, and he zens with his 𝐒𝐿𝐻𝐿, and they're able to terastallize, and they take down the 𝐒𝐿𝐻𝐿, and he passes the test, and then Dot's like, oh, I'm up next. Next episode, I think, is going to be tremendously better, because Ayano is just, I think she's one of the probably top 3 gym leaders in all of Pokemon to me on a personal level. I love Ayano. She is just peak and awesome. And they've already established that she is peak and awesome within the Pokemon Horizons universe as well. So I can't wait for her to come next week. And with Dot, I know next week's going to be a much better episode. But overall, just like the journey of us getting from A to B with Roy, like, I just didn't find it that enjoyable. And I was a little bit bored this episode. I had to pause the episode like twice just because I was like, okay, my eyes are glazing over. Pause. Let me come back. Let me recenter myself. Let me get a little bit of water or something. But that's just my, you know, that's my real feelings. Like, I've just had a tumultuous relationship with Roy as a character, and this episode featuring mostly him. Just like, you know, I guess when you don't care about something, you can't really give it your heart. And then Brassius, you know, he's fine. He's a fine gym leader. You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't have as much, to me, he doesn't have as much personality, you know, to me. So, like, I think, you know, last week when we focused on Katie more, I think she's, like, oozing with personality. So, and a lot of that is it's not by chance. It's on purpose. Like, he purposely doesn't have a lot of personality. He puts his personality into his art and stuff. Like, so anyways, that's how I feel. I think this episode, you know, 6 out of 10 just didn't hit for me. But hey, we're 48 effing episodes in. We're 48 weeks into this season. Not every episode is going to be a banger. I think overall, Pokemon Horizons is a banger. It's like, I love Pokemon Horizons. I love it. I wouldn't be covering for 48 weeks. I'd have to be a crazy man to do that. I love it. But I think, you know, not every episode is going to be a banger. Just like every other really long-running show, including Journeys, including Sun and Moon, you know, before it, including the originals, you know, including any, you know, Naruto, Bleach, One Piece. Not every episode's a banger. You're gonna have some duds and some poo-poo ones. I think that's okay. And that's what this one was for me. So let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments down below. I would definitely appreciate hearing your guys' thoughts. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm right. Tell me you agree. Whatever you want, say in the comments down below, and I'll see you next week, trainers, for episode 49 as we head over to Lavencia, my favorite place in Scarlet and Violet. I love Lavencia, and I love Ayano. All right, see you there. Peace.